Hi, I'm Cyndi Wallace, and welcome to Astro News Live. We're going to do the 12 signs tonight, and then we're going to go and do some mini readings. So I want to welcome you, and I'm glad that you're here. So we're going to start now, and I told you that this year was going to be a kicker. Told ya. With all those retrogrades that we had in the summer, remember? We had like 5 retrogrades. Hi, Rita. Hope you brought the wine. And then we had the retrogrades in the fall. We had the Mercury and the Mars. So, it's been a killer of a year. It's been a real kicker. So, let's dive into our 12 signs. And hi, Katie. Good to see you. And we're going to have some fun with some readings later. So let's do it. So we're going to start with Capricorns. I always like to start with Capricorns because, not that I'm a Capricorn, but I always like to start with Capricorns because I feel that Capricorns have been through the worst of it in the last 15 years. They have, had Pluto and Saturn and what's the other one? Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter all rolling around in Capricorn all year this year. And that was the transformation of government, because Capricorn not only rules career, but it rules government also. So I'm glad you all could make it. And hi, Anne. I see you there. And so let's start with the Capricorns, okay? And I don't know if we have any Capricorns on right now. We might. So the big thing that I promised you Capricorns all year is that you're going to get a prize. And your prize is going to be in January. So it could be a new job. It might be getting a job or wanting a job, or you get a raise or a promotion or something like that. It will probably be in the career sector, but you will get a prize. It's going to be a surprise in January. And if Karen is watching, she'll probably start her new job then. But Saturn is the only planet that will give you a prize at the end for going through it. And it's usually a grueling 2-year process. I had Saturn for 2 years, the last 2 years, but I kind of liked it because it gave me more vigilance. It gave me a sense of schedule, especially with the COVID. It didn't bother me too much because I was always churning and burning with work. So I didn't really have too much trouble in my 2 years with Saturn, and I don't think you will, but Saturn is now moving to Aquarius, and it will be there on December 21st. Now, I want to talk about that December 21st, but you are going to get your surprise, all Capricorns, in January, and it will probably be either a new job or a raise or something to that extent. But it will be good because Saturn always gives its word. Now, the Saturn and Jupiter will leave Capricorn. It's been rolling around with Pluto for the last year, and it's been hell. But what is Saturn and Jupiter? Guess what? It's going to collide, bang into on December 21st. And at that point, Capricorns, my darling Capricorns, I see Kathy is there as a Capricorn, you will not get that impact that bad because by December 21st, the Jupiter and the Saturn will move to Aquarius. So we're going to have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. Eventually, all the planets, most of them, will be in Aquarius this year. So this is hailed as the entrance of Aquarius. You know, we reached coming into Aquarius. It's a big time, especially for spiritualists and people that have been waiting for this for, gosh, decades. We're coming out of the Piscean age and entering on December 21st the Aquarian age, and that's going to be an age where there's new economic growth, new social growth, and just to put in a nutshell, people are finally waking up, and it's about time, right? Yeah, we people that have been practicing spirituality, we've been waiting a long time for this. So this is going to be our time. And this is why most of us have come, the awakened souls have come onto this planet for just this time. So you're lucky to be here. You're lucky souls that you planned your incarnations to be here for just this time. So with the great conjunction on December 21st, it's not that far away. Think of what was happening to you around 2001. What was happening 2001? It's going to mimic that. And also 1983. What was happening in 2001 and 1983? Because that will mimic what it will do for you. Me, I was moving those both years. So maybe I'm looking at a move, I don't know. But if you can think back, this great conjunction on 12/21 is going to mimic those years for you. It comes every 20 years. It takes Jupiter 12 years to go around the zodiac, and it takes Saturn 30 years to go around the zodiac. So Capricorns kind of dodged this bullet, but we've had the Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter rolling around all year. So if your year for a Cappy was one of the toughest, I can comply with you because I understand fully. However, now, like I say, the Saturn and Jupiter are going to go into Aquarius. We're going to cover that in just a minute. So for the Capricorn, that conjunction will have a lot to do with your second house of money. It will be, the second house is finances. So you might, again, it might have something to do with a job. It might have something to do with your finances, looking at them, making new goals, trying to create a new economic foundation for yourself. Remember, it comes every 20 years. So this is the bottom floor for creating that new financial upswing for all Capricorns. So that's what the focus of the conjunction will be. And because Capricorns rule career and work and government, it will have a whole focus on those things for you. So in the next 20 years, you will be starting a whole new foundation for how do you get money. And maybe paying off all your bills and, you know, living like you've wanted to live. Maybe you'll sell a house. Maybe you'll get into the economic flow. I hear that gold and silver are going to be very, very high. So you might want to look at that. And then by May and June, all the foreign countries that have been holding our money back from the Treasury will be, you'll be available to get your money at that time. If you have Iraqi money or money from Vietnam or whatever, you'll be able to collect your money from those banks. All right, Pluto, as if, you know, the Jupiter and the Saturn wasn't enough for Capricorns. We have the Pluto, and that Pluto is still going to be in our sign, Capricorns, for 3 more years till 2024. Pluto is the great destroyer and transformer. So it will be rocking and rolling and transforming your work and transforming your life. But by 2024, your life will be very, very different than it is and it was in 2008. 2008 to 2000 2015 was the deathing, and 2015, or actually 16 to 2024, is the rebirthing. So you should start seeing that rebirthing now in your life. And so when you get to 2024, you'll have a whole different life. I guarantee you, I bet you my bottom dollar on that. I know so. Boy, do I know these planets. Okay, now Saturn at 1 degree. This is real interesting, and I'll repeat it again for Aquarians. But when Saturn gets to 1 degree, it's going in Aquarius. It will mimic what we went through from March to May. Now, in March to May of this year, that Saturn was at 1 degree Aquarius. So what it's going to do, whatever was happening in your life, now I know we had the lockdown from March to May and then people started coming out of their shells and going to the beach. But so 21 to the end of the year is going to mimic that 1 degree. So it could be a lockdown again. It might be we get stimulus checks. It might be whatever was going on between March and May, it will be a mimic of it. However, the Aquarians will get 2 years of it. So whatever was happening at that time, we'll all mimic it, but the Aquarians will get 2 years of it. And the rest of us will only get a couple months. So it may be a lockdown. That's what happened between March and May, but try to think about what else was going in your life at that time. Now Saturn at 1 degree, like I say, March, May, look for that. And also Mercury for Capricorns is in the 12th house in Sag. 12th house is a shadow house. It's a house of the subconscious mind. We call it the shadow house or the hidden house. It's where things are hidden, like we don't know about. It could be secrets that come up that you didn't know, that when we come to January, you'll finally know what those secrets were, because it will move out of the 12th house and they'll be revealed. It might be that you just do a lot of meditation and inner work. It might be that. It could be that you are getting ready to change your life, and that you're trying to do the hidden stuff before you actually do the event. Like you could be packing up to make a move, or you could be trying to put in something in your house that you have to, take out the guts of the house in order to make the renovation. It could be that. It could be filling out applications for a job or a new home. So, and then in January, it would be revealed to you. Mars will be in the Capricorn's 4th house. It has been. The Arians have really gotten slammed with their ruler Mars, which can be irritable or fights or arguments. That's been for the last 5 months in the 4th house for Capricorns, so that's family and home. So maybe you've had someone in lockdown that you didn't expect that was going to stay, and you had a lot of disagreements with them. I don't know, but it could be that. But Mars will move in January to Taurus for many months. So then all the Taurians are going to get that Mars movement, all that irritability and wanting to argue, and it's a go-getter, and it can be sex, so that could be good. But like I say, the Capricorns have had that in their home and family. So maybe Thanksgiving wasn't so great for Capricorns. I don't know. The new moon, that's a biggie this month too. It's in Sag, and it's an eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. That means that we won't see the sun on that day. And that will be the 14th of December. For Capricorns, it's going to hit in your 12th house of hidden affairs. Again, it could be you just want to be a recluse, or you just want a hermit. You may want to meditate more, or just read, or be left alone. In any case, it is the house of the hermit and the subconscious. So the new moon will hit, and you know the new moon, it takes about a month for that new moon to show you what it wants to show you. It will be in Sag, so it could be friends. Maybe Capricorns will be hearing from friends of the past. 12th house can also be past. So you might be hearing from a lot of friends from the past, you Capricorns. And then the Mercury, what you focus on, and Venus, your love life, will be in the 12th house. So again, it could be friendships, and maybe you meet a love from the past. Maybe someone shows up from the past, and you fall in love. Capricorns, you're just getting rid of the Saturn and the Jupiter. However, what I say is, I'd rather have Jupiter, the good luck planet, in my sign in a COVID year than any year. Like I say, it takes 12 years for Jupiter to get in your sign, but if the Capricorns had to have that mean, evil Pluto and taskmaster Saturn rolling around in their sign, at least they had a mitigating, fun, free, frolic Jupiter, la 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 la. And Jupiter kind of mitigated all that seriousness from Saturn. However, again, if I had to have Jupiter in my sign, good luck. I would want it in a COVID year or pandemic year, that's for sure. And now for a year, Aquarians would be getting that. So let's get into Aquarius. That's the next sign. In Aquarius, on November 30th, and I meant to explain that too to Capricorns. On November 30th, a couple nights ago, we had a slam bang new moon in Gemini, and the opposite of Sag. Now, Geminis and Sages are going to get a lot of eclipses in the next 2 years. Capricorns and Cancers just got out of their 2 years where they were slammed not only with those big planets, but they had eclipses too. Now, eclipses change your life, usually for the better, but you don't know it at the time. That's the hard part. So with Aquarius, this is a big time for Aquarians. Like I told you, it's a nice time to be an Aquarian, because you're going to get Jupiter, which is good luck, okay? And it's still COVID time. So like I said, if you're going to get Jupiter, get it in a COVID pandemic year. So you will be getting Jupiter in your sign, but you'll also be getting Saturn in your sign. So the two are going to be rolling around all year in Aquarius. Now, to me, that could be, again, a lockdown. It could be more vigilant rules that we have to follow. Jupiter and Saturn could also be another stimulus package. It could also be anything financial, starting a new financial system. Now, Bill Gates is born under that conjunction, Jupiter and Saturn, and so is, some other guy, I can't remember it, Buffett. Warren Buffett is also born under that Jupiter conjunct Saturn. So you can see that it does have something to do with economics and money. Now, for the Aquarian, your Jupiter will conjunct the Saturn on the 21st, the Great Conjunction. So in your case, it's going to hit your first house. And your first house is the personal house. It's how you take care of yourself. It will be your body, your physical body. So you want to be careful on that day. You know, I myself wouldn't be driving anywhere. Not with those big knockers in the sky. Not with Saturn and Jupiter conjuncting. Are you kidding me? That could be, you know, that also it could be court cases going on that they finally, you know, make some decisions. Maybe the election goes into that Aquarian time through January and February. We don't know. Now, Gore's time went for like 38 days, so we don't know. You know, it could very well be that Jupiter Saturn conjunction has something to do with law. Jupiter rules law, and Saturn rules vigilance and a definitive outcome. It defines. So it could be that maybe some of these laws are going to be changed, or it could be going. Some of the stuff could be going to court, higher court. That could be too. So we're going to have to see. But in Aquarius is about friendships and groups. So it might very well be lockdown, or that they imply more rules to the restaurants and entertainment and things like that. Now, Jupiter will be in Aquarius for 1 year, and Saturn will be in Aquarius for 2 years. Okay, so if we Capricorns could do it for the last 2 years, you Aquarians can do it for the next 2 years. And you know what? I'm glad to give it to you. Okay? All right, you got the Sun in Sag. Sagittarius is friends and travel and fun. And you've got it in your 11th house of friends and travel and fun. So I think, now this is what I think from looking at all this research that I've been doing in the last 2 days, that I think that Leos and Aquarians are going to have the most fun this year. But we'll keep going through these. But right now I can see that. Because not only do you have your Sun in Sag, and that's the focus of the month, and it's fun. You might have a good Christmas, good holidays, and then Mercury is in Sag. That's where you're putting your mind and your focus. 11th house, fun. Friends, family, travel, good for you. You deserve it. You know why? Because Aquarians have been stuck for a long time. And I know that about you Aquarians. So now the new moon on the 14th, remember it's going to be in Sagittarius too. Lots going on for Sagittarius and Geminis this month. That new moon, it's a solar eclipse. So remember I told you that solar eclipses, it takes away the sun. An eclipse means that it's either taken away or given. So on these eclipses, we just had the moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse, and something is going to be taken away or given. It could be a job, like you lose a job and then you get another, or you sell a home and move to another. Could be all that. So it looks like a great month for Aquarians from what I'm looking at here. The Venus is in Sag, that's your love life and your money, and it's in the 11th house, Sag. Hey, a friend could become a lover for you. How about that? Or you could be traveling with a friend, or you could be traveling and you meet the love of your life. That could happen this month for you Aquarians. So it looks like a goodie. And then you have Mars in the 3rd house. Now Mars is in Aries, and remember at the end of the year it's going to change signs and go into Taurus for a long time, for many months. But it's been in Aries for 6 months, and remember we had those hellacious retrogrades. Oh my God, they were terrible in the fall. Remember September and October? Maybe you don't want to. but we had the retrogrades of Mercury and Mars in Aries, and it was so hard. And so for the Aquarian, they have it in the 11th. Again, so you're not going to go through a Mars retro, happy to say, but it's a very friendly, wonderful, fun time for the Aquarians. And then, like I say, it's in harmony with Venus. The Mars is going to be in harmony with Venus. And what can I say? It's a great time for Aquarians. So, like I say, Aquarians, you've been stuck for a long time. You're now getting 2 new planets. And I always say that nothing really can happen in your life until you have some planets crossing your sign. And I know a lot of people, you know, they may not have much going on, and I'll look at their planets and it will be just that. They haven't had any planets going on for a long time in their house. So it looks like finally for you Aquarians, and it will affect the Leos in a good way, because Leo is on the other side of the axis. It opposes Aquarius. So in Aquarius, your ruler right now is Uranus, and it's in Taurus. And that is the transit that created a lot of people to be working in their home right now, and children in the home. Taurus is the home and family, and Uranus is surprise. Guess what? Sudden change. So that whole transit of Uranus and Taurus is what created the people coming at home and working at home, and also the education of children in their homes. So now we get into Pisces. Pisces is such a wonderful sign. I love Pisceans. That's the sign of Mother Teresa. That's a water sign ruled by Neptune. And Neptune just went direct. Pisceans, you had many months of Neptune retrograding. And whenever your ruler is retrograding, it is horrendous. You know, nothing moves in your sign. So Katie, I know you're happy. You can start moving now. And, you know, it just never seemed, it seems like, you know, that it seems like, you know, nothing is moving. But with Neptune going ahead now, it will seem like things are moving, like everything is moving for you. So that's great. Now that November 30th full moon eclipse, that was in your 4th house in Gemini. So that could be that maybe you're going to have some changes in love with someone moving in with you, or maybe you're going to make a move with a love. You know, that could happen. And, you know, eclipses, if a full moon eclipse will be in gear for 6 months to a year. So in the next 6 months to a year, that could happen. It's in Gemini, which is love and romance and children. You could have suddenly a baby, so watch out with the contraceptives. And, you know, hey, sounds good to me. So far for Pisces, the sun is in Sag, happy, friends, travel, and 10, it's in the 10th house. So that could mean that the 10th house is your career, also your status. What is your status in life? So that could be that friends help you at work, or you become more friendly with people at work, or you could start traveling for your job. But your status is going to change for the better. Okay, so if you've been working real hard, my little Pisceans, it's going to pay off. Okay, so keep working. Neptune went direct. We already covered that, but it's in nice alliance to Saturn. So Saturn rules work. So it'll continue that way, and it was really in line a couple weeks ago. Your Mercury is in Sag. It's what you want to focus on this month, and that is in the 10th house of career and status. That also can be about the dad in your life, the father. So maybe you go on a trip with your dad, or maybe through the holidays you both travel together to see other people. So that could be that. Now that 12/14 lunar eclipse, I'm sorry, it's a solar eclipse in Sag, that is going to be in your 10th house again of career and status. So to me, I think that the Pisceans are really going to excel in their work and what they mean to the world. You might get a magazine article written about you. It can mean fame. So you might get a magazine article written about you, and that would be great. Maybe take pictures of what you do in your career and get in a magazine or get on social media or something. So that would be nice. The Venus love life for the Piscean is in the 10th house too. So that can be, again, fame, a notoriety, career. You might decide to go in with your partner, if you have a partner, with work. Or you might meet someone in your career. Or you might be working with your partner and you both get fame, or maybe people get to know you a little more. So it looks like to me all 10th house, and Mars is in your 2nd house right now in Aries, and that's starting new projects and getting things done that you need to do. And it's in the 2nd house of money. So it kind of coincides with everything else for Pisces. Pisces is a money sign, by the way. So it looks to me like you're going to achieve some kind of notoriety or fame through your career and get some money for that. And also maybe you'll be working with a partner or meet a partner. Okay? Psychically, I'm getting a lot of running around. So for all Pisces, I would say don't rush so much. Just kind of take it easy. Okay? Just don't do things too fast. Just kind of think before you act. All right. Well, let's go to Aries. Aries, you've had that Mars rolling around for the longest of time. Oh my God, 6 months. Mars never stays in one sign for 6 months, and it had to be your ruler. Oh, goodness. And through that retrograde we had in September and October, whoa. Well, Aries, good news. By the end of the year, it's going to leave your sign, and it's going to go into Taurus. But right now, your Mars ruler is in the 2nd house of how you make money. So Mars isn't all that bad. It's irritability and frustration and all that, and fights and arguments. But it's where we put our energy. So I would say that right now the Arian is putting their energy into making some money and focusing on their career. The sun is where your focus will be all month for December, and it's in Sag in the 9th house. Now that could be travel with friends, or it could just be long distance travel. I know we have COVID, but there are some countries that are letting maybe friends are coming to travel to see you. 9th house can be publishing, it's long distance. It can be, it's college compared to high school. So, or it would be like graduate work compared to college. So it's that kind of thing. So maybe you want to take some classes that you need to take in order to get ahead in work. So it can do that for you. Your Mercury, where you're putting your mind this month, will be in the 9th house, the same of publishing and long distance travel, which I don't think is going to happen for many, but maybe in our mind. Now, it could be in your mind. You could be just imagining travel, or maybe looking at a lot of videos of travel. Who knows? 9th can be a marriage house. It actually is the 2nd marriage house. So it could be a 2nd marriage for Arians. Your Venus, which is the love planet, will be in your 8th house of joint resources. It could be the 8th house is maybe opening a joint account with another person, your partner, maybe trying to make more money with a partner. It usually is joint resources with a partner. It could be a business partner too. It could be taxes. The 8th house is the ending of things and new beginnings. It's also a psychic house and a healing house. It's one of the most spiritual houses we have. So with income, it might be that maybe you start a light practice. Maybe you start going into the holistic realm and start making, some money. Okay? Now, 12/14, we're going to have that new moon solar eclipse, and that's going to hit you in the 9th house of publishing and long distance travel in the mind. I'm going to say the mind because of the COVID situation, but who knows? Maybe sometime this year you will be traveling to foreign countries again if you get the vaccine. It also is a second marriage house, so maybe the new moon, remember it goes for 6 months to a year, you might be thinking of getting married, okay? And also that Jupiter and Saturn will align on the 21st. Remember we talked about the Great Conjunction, and for you it's going to go for 20 years. It's the brand new ground floor. It's the ground floor foundation, and for you it's going to be in your 11th house of friendships, community affairs. It can be the court system if you work for the government. It can be travel. So you're going to start a new 20-year foundation for travel and friendships. And that's pretty good, I think. Taurus and Taurus rising. The sign of the bull. It's an earth sign. Okay, now you have had Uranus. That is your ruler in Taurus. Remember I discussed with you that that's what created people working from home. Remember I told you about that? And children not electing, but the event of children in the home because schools are closed down in some places. So that Uranus will be in Taurus for 7 years. It's very unexpected, unexplained. It's a surprise planet. You never know what it's going to do, but it's one of the biggies. So we always watch the biggies to see what they're going to do because they're the ones that change our lives. The other ones don't do a hell of beans for our lives, and that would be Venus, Mercury, and Mars. Yeah, they do some on a daily basis, but they don't change our lives and our planet like those biggies do that I've been talking about. Now the Sun for Taurus, that will be the focus of the month, will be in the 8th house of joint resources, taxes. You could get an inheritance this month. It's the endings and new beginnings. It's about partnering with money in some way. It could be a business joint venture that you're doing with a love partner or maybe a business partner. It's signing contracts. It's a very psychic house. It's a holistic house for healers. So it's the most spiritual house we have, and it's also a death house. I'm not saying you're going to die this month, but I have to tell you all of the possibilities because that's just the hairpin that I am. Now Mars enters Taurus on 1/6, January 6th. And for that, again, it's going to be in your 1st house of the body and physical. So what I want you to do is be careful very much for the next couple months with COVID because Mars rules viruses. Okay? It rules attacks. You could have a car accident. Now remember, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but I'm trying to give you all the possibilities so you'll be aware of it. So you want to drive a little more carefully, okay? You want to, with the COVID, you want to follow the rules and not get too relaxed. Mars does rule attacks. I remember when Mars was on my sun one day, I got attacked by a beehive. It was a hornet's nest, and I knew something was going to happen. Maybe I would cut my finger or something like that, which can also be Mars. But no, a hornet's nest with tons of hornets flew right at me, and my face was ballooned up like you don't know how, just like a big balloon. So it's really uncanny sometimes how these planets come to play with the results. Now your Mercury, which is what your mind is on or your focus, will be in the 8th house also. And the 8th house, again, is everything I described before because it's the same as your sun in Sag. It will be, friends with money, or it could be your focus is on ending some things with friends and starting anew. It might be that you want to become a light worker or study esoteric things with friends. You might go to some online classes with friends or make new friends while doing it. That would be great. And your love planet Venus is also in Sag in the 8th. So now Sag will change to Capricorn on December 22nd. So the whole month won't be the sun in Sag. But right now, all you Sagittarius are getting your birthdays and you're seeing your sun in Sag. The new moon solar eclipse for the Taurus is going to be in the 8th house too. So we have really, looking at your chart, it's all 8th house. And once again, joint ventures, joint resources, taxes, inheritance, the house of healing, all of that. So that new moon is going to go for 6 months to a year. So it will change some things in that department that I talked about, that 8th house. Now your Jupiter and Saturn conjunction, the great conjunction that is entering in Aquarius, is going into your 10th house. Okay, so the 10th house is career. I would say by looking at all this 8th and 10th house stuff that you really are readjusting your economic situation in some way. And this month will be the month to do it for the Taurus. You really are wanting to partner with someone, and that could be a business partner. Maybe you start a business. I think it's more business than I would say a relationship. Because again, the 8th house can end things and start anew. You might end a relationship to go into one. So I wouldn't think that would really be a love situation and partnering. I would think it would be more of a business partner at this point. Or maybe you want to start a new business and you make friends doing it. So that Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius will be on the 21st for you Taurians and starts a new economic flow for the next 20 years. It's the ground zero foundation. Now, what was happening around 2001 for you and 1983, think about it. It's going to mimic, okay? And what was happening for you in March to May? In a few weeks, we're going to find out, okay? We're going to go back over that track with Saturn, and all the signs will go over it. So we're going to mimic it, what was going on in March and May of your life. All right, let's get into Gemini. Yes, Gemini, the axis would be Saturn. So anything I say about Gemini actually goes to I'm sorry, not Saturn, Sagittarius. That is the axis to Gemini. This is for Gemini and Gemini rising. Your ruler is Mercury. We just had the Mercury retrograde. I don't know how it was for you, but for the Gemini and for the Virgo, it usually is a review for 8 weeks. You go into a review of the past. The Gemini, we're going to have another Mercury retrograde in February, okay? So I'm just warning you again. If you need new electronics or technical stuff, go and get it before February, believe me. Okay, your sun, that's a focus of the month. It is in Sag in your 7th house. So 7th is partnerships, and it usually is love partnership. Not like the 8th, it's usually a business partnership. But the love in the 7th, it's going to be in Sag. That could be that you have your best friend and you decide you want to get married. It can be a proposal. It can be partnering with your best friend. It could be going on a trip through the month of December with your partner. It could be a lot of travel. We still have a lot of travel going around through these holidays. That was proved with Thanksgiving, right? So that could be very, very much what is happening. Okay, now your November 30th lunar eclipse of the full moon that goes for the whole month. But those eclipses stay for a whole year. That's for the Gemini in your 1st house of body and mind and spirit. It's your persona. It's about self. So I would say that could change some stuff. It could be hidden. You might fall in love with someone. It could be about children. It might be that maybe through the COVID you had to educate your children at home, and then all of a sudden you don't have to in a couple months. It could be anything to do with love, creativity, children. 5th house is fun. So I'm glad to see the 5th house finally in these readings for December. Of course, Aquarians, you didn't have it too bad with all that 11th. The Venus sign, the love sign, is in your 7th of partnership, love. Could be marriage, could be proposal. That's great, you know? It could be a very loving month for Geminis and Sagittarius, so they get the opposition of anything that's going on with Geminis. So it could be a very, very loving month for you all. And the Venus in Sag will start on December 15th and it will go until January 8th. Okay, so that looks fun. Mercury is ruling your 7th house, and like I said, in February you'll have a retro. Now, the 7th house again is partnership. So your minds and your focus is going to be on being with my partner. So through the holidays, it looks like a very romantic time for especially the Geminis and the Sagittarius. Mercury, again, rules the 7th, and that new moon that is in Sag. Again, friendships and travel. That new moon on the 14th, that's going to ignite an eclipse, a solar eclipse, which stays from 6 months to a year. And remember, I told you that the Geminis and Sagittarius are all getting the eclipse for the next 2 years. So that means a lot of change in your love life, your creative life. You could travel a lot in the next couple months. Wowee, this is great. Now that Jupiter and Saturn conjunction on the 21st, that's going to hit you in the 9th house of publishing. It could be a second marriage if you're getting married. It could also mean high philosophy, world philosophy, going to a higher grade in school, anything with education. And because it's in Aquarius, it could be in a group manner. If we have the COVID still, as long as we have it, it may be on Zoom. You might make some friends doing that. Or it could be finally when the COVID ends through vaccination or herd immunity, that you actually start going to school and learning things. So again, remember that the eclipse is on for 6 months to a year. Okay? All right, we come into Cancer. Now, everything I said for Capricorn, Cancerians, that is for you too, because you're on that axis to Capricorn. That means that you're on that opposition. So the sun in Cancer, that's where you put your focus all month, for the month of December, will be in the 6th house of work, career, health, and everyday affairs. So because it's in Sag, you could be doing all that with friends, or you might be visiting friends that are sick, or you might be working with friends, or in your everyday affairs, seeing your friends, talking to your friends on the phone. I mean, that can be a possibility. Your Mercury is what you have your mind on through the month, is in the 6th house also. Again, the 6th house is everyday affairs, career, health, that kind of thing. And that's in Sag. So again, remember I mentioned talking on the phone? That would mean that. Talking to a lot of friends. I know I've been doing that through this COVID thing. Talking to a lot of friends on the phone or on social media. Now that Jupiter and Saturn, that great conjunction I've been telling you about, ushering in the Aquarian age, that comes on the 21st of this month for the Cancer in the Cancer rising, and the Capricorn. Capricorn was 12th house. For the Cancer, it will be the 8th house. The 8th house is a death house. It might be you hear of death. Because of the pandemic. It may be a business situation that you get inspired to do with a friend. It's an Aquarius, so Aquarius is friendships. It could be a business situation you want to get into. It could be an inheritance, might be taxes. It could be getting into a light working business with a friend, or doing light work or meditating or doing things like that. It's also a psychological house. I forgot to tell you that. It's very psychological. If you're going to a therapist or something like that, that would fall under the 8th house. It's looking into the self. The Venus, which is your love life, is in your 6th house of health. Maybe you meet the love of your life in going to the doctors, or maybe through work, maybe you're working at home and you're on the computer, which could happen. You might meet the love of your life, or on a Zoom call or something like that with a crowd of friends. The Venus is in Sag, okay? So it involves friends and work, everyday occurrences. You might start seeing your friends more since the COVID will be ending this year in the 2021 sector. It could be working with friends, okay? So there's a lot of 6th house stuff going on with Cancers. I would say that maybe you might be starting a new business. You might be getting ideas for new business that requires maybe the attention of friends. Or you might be traveling to do this new business. That could be too. All right, the new moon solar eclipse on 12/14. For the Cancer, it's going to hit you in the 6th house. So everything is 6 for the Cancer. I would say, again, it looks to me like a lot of focus on everyday mentality and career and health, keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself safe, okay? You might be a light worker that you work with health every day, and you might see friends. You might have made friends through that work situation. Okay, now Cancer will be losing the opposition of Saturn and Jupiter, just like Capricorn. Its axis is losing Saturn and Jupiter, but you will still have, the Cancers will still have Pluto in its sign till 2024. No, don't cry. Don't cry. It's not bad now. It's in the rebirth, I promise you. You are rebirthing now, I promise you. So 2024, you'll have a whole different life. I promise you that. Pluto is very slow moving, but it's very, very vigilant, and it changes your life for the better. And I've had it just the same time you have, 15 years now. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I know who you are. So we'll walk it together, okay? It'll be a hop and a skip to 2024. And our whole government will be changed by that time too. So it's going to be a good time in the Aquarian age, I promise you that. Now, you still have Pluto, like I say, that opposition going on, but it will end in 2024. I know it's been rough, Cancers. I know you're the second of the roughness. Capricorns are first, and then third and fourth come Aries and Libras, because they've gotten the squares of the Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Okay, Leo and Leo rising. All right. Hey, it looks like a real good month for them. Yeah, remember I told you that Aquarius, that's the axis point to Leo. That's what opposes. So no wonder Leo looks like a good month here. Okay, let's get through this. Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, okay? That's the great conjunction on the 21st. 20 years at basement level. And for you, it will be a social and economic new 20 years. So it's going to be in your 7th house, 7th of partnership. So you could start a whole new level of loving in your partnership with who you are. You might get married this year. You might, yeah, Rita, I know you've been waiting for this. And I'm going to validate it not only with cards for you, but with the astrology. You've got that 7th house, so that's a big deal, 20 years in a partnership, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that after the 20 years it's over. It means you're starting the ground floor cycle of partnerships. I don't know what's happened to Leos 20 years before. I do know some Leos that should be divorced, so maybe they will get divorced. But the single ones are going to get married or get proposed to. That I can tell you, looking at the chart for the Leo. It's a bell ringer for partnership. Now, the sun that rules Leo is ruled by the sun. It's going to be in the 5th house of Sagittarius. It's having fun with a friend, having a loving time with a friend. So you're going to meet a friend. It could be this month. It's in Sag until the 22nd. Then it goes into Capricorn. So if it's after the 22nd, you'll meet the love friend at work, but if it's before the 22nd, you'll meet the love friend, maybe through travel or through a friend. It could be meeting through a friend or a gathering, okay? Now, Mercury, your focus is on the 5th house of love and romance, fun, creativity, children, all of that. That sounds good to me. So this is a very creative month for Leos and Aquarians. It looks like that. Venus, the love planet, is in the 5th house of love and romance. Okay? So you're going to get that. Hey, how good could you have it? You could meet a friend, or a friend becomes a love interest, or it could just be very sudden. But it's going to be on 12/15 when Venus goes into Sag. It's still in Scorpio, but on the 14th or 15th, right when we have that new moon. Remember the new moon? That's a solar eclipse. That's going to trigger it. That's going to trigger all this love and romance and partnership, just like that Jupiter and Saturn in the Great Conjunction will. This is a great month for Leos. The new moon in Sag will be in your 5th house of love, romance, kids, creation. So everything is in the 5th house, and that great conjunction looks like the 7th house of partnerships. You will probably be planning a marriage pretty soon. Maybe this year, maybe next year, but this is a bell ringer. Now, Mars has been in Aries, like I say, for the last 6 months, and it will be there until January 6th, where it goes into Taurus. And it's been for the Leos in your 9th house of high-minded affairs. That's your 2nd marriage house. If you've been married before, you could be going into a 2nd marriage. It's long-distance education. You might start a new job and have to go through education, some kind of educational process. It also rules publishing and marketing. So I would say so far, Aquarian and Leo wins for the best for the month. Now for Virgos and Virgos rising, your sun, your focus for the whole month is going to be in the 4th house of home. It could be real estate. Maybe you want to sell a house. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you want to revamp your house or renovate. That can happen. Hi, Deb. And we're at Virgo. How coincidental. So the sun, I'm going to repeat it for Deb. The sun is in Sag in the 4th. So you may want to redo your house. You may want to renovate. You may want to do something like that. You might want to sell your house. It's in Sag. It might be that you want to have friends come in. You might want to have friends help you with the renovations, that kind of thing. The Mercury will be where you put your mind this month. So that will be in the 4th house of the home. The 4th house can be actually family and home. So you might have some people over for the holidays, or you may want to visit family for the holidays. So that can happen too. Venus, the love planet, and this will be your love. Thank you for the heart. That will be in Sag in the 4th house. So you could actually have a friend come over and fall in love. Or it might be a service person coming to your house to fix something. Or it might be a family member brings somebody to your home to meet. Or you might have a gathering at your house and meet somebody. It's usually family and home, but it's Sag. So I would say that in the love department, that very well could happen. You might be entertaining and somebody brings an extra guest and you fall in love. Never know. But that's what I would say it is. Now that solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse, remember on the 14th in Sag, it's going to hit the Virgos and Virgo risings in the 6th house. And that's your everyday affairs, your body, your health, and job focus especially. So you might start a job and you need a lot of focus, or you got to learn maybe new computer skills. Maybe you have to learn new computer programs. But it's in Sag, so it's a friendly house. It's a friendly sign, so you would get the help you need. If you're starting a new job and you don't know really what you're doing, people would be very, very friendly because it's in Sag. If it was in a cold sign, maybe people would ignore you, but that's a very, very, very friendly sign, Sagittarius. Okay, so that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that I was telling you about on the 21st, that is going to conjoin in Aquarius, and that for you, Virgos, will be in the 6th house of career, everyday occurrence, and health. Now, that's a new 20-year foundation for starting a 20-year foundation, okay? So this is very big for you. If you can think of what was happening in 2001 and 1983, it's going to mimic that for the next 20 years. Okay, and that means a new cycle of growth in economics and the social positions for the whole world. All right, Libras and Libra rising. Now I know you felt stuck too, like the Aquarians have, and the Cappies and Cancers. You've had the belt of the three huge Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn planets squaring your sign for the last 15 years, and so have the Arians. So it's been very, very hard for Capricorns, Cancers, Arians, and Libras. Okay, so I just want to tell you that things are starting to change finally. No, you do not have a black cloud over your head. Okay, things are changing. So Libra is an air sign. Now the air sign is going to be very, very favorable to that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that starts on December 21st. It's going to be very, very favorable to that. So that'll be in Aquarius, and for the Libras, it will be in the 5th house of love, romance, children, creativity. You want to create, you want to put stuff together. Maybe you're renovating a place. Maybe you're getting really creative ideas for a book. It's in Sag, so it's so favorable for all of that. And you might be doing it with friends. It's great for love. And that will be starting a whole new 20-year process for you. It's the ground zero of the next 20 years in Aquarius. The great conjunction that starts the Aquarian age on the 21st of this month. So this is a big month for everybody, really. Yeah. So now that your love life will be in the 3rd house in Sag. So that could be talking to friends on the phone. It could be meeting a friend in your environment. 3rd house is environment, communications. It could be a lower type of class. You could take a class and meet the people on Zoom. Okay, that could be all of that. So look, if you're taking any classes, you might meet somebody and fall in love on the Zoom thing. It might be, again, calling people and on the phone, and you just realize that maybe you're in love with a friend that you're talking to. You know, that can happen. But it could also happen in your environment. And the 3rd house is, again, education. Now, Mercury, what you're putting your mind on this month for the Libras and Libra risings is the 3rd house. The 3rd house, again, communications, publishing, marketing, real big with marketing. So you might decide you want to put some YouTube commercials on or something like that. Your focus is going to be on the 3rd house of environment, where you live, and maybe renovating, maybe doing some renovating around where you live. But it's with friends. So maybe you move and you're finally with friends. The new moon, solar eclipse will also be in the 3rd house. So there's so much in the 3rd and 5th in Libra this month. And that's, again, communications, publishing, lower schooling, education, maybe on Zoom. It's marketing and in your environment. And that Mars in Aries is in your 7th house. And that means that till the end of the year, you might be partnering with someone through the whole Aries time of partnership, but that partnership could very well be coming to an end. And then on January 6th, it goes into it goes into Taurus. January 6th, it goes into Taurus finally, and that will go into your 8th house of joint affairs, joint ventures, joint money, taxes, inheritance, signing contracts. But right now it's in the 7th house of partnership. If you're in a partnership, you most likely might get out of it. If you're not in one, you most likely could get into one. Okay, remember that new moon eclipse attached with the eclipse goes on for 6 months to a year. And when it goes into Taurus, it will go into your 8th house. Okay? Now we get to Scorpio. Okay, everything has been in Scorpio because Scorpios had their birthday last month. And then everything is now turning into Sag. Now, after the 22nd of this month, everything will be going toward Capricorn. And Scorpios were tired. Remember I told you last month when they all were having their birthdays that they're tired? Well, now Sages, they're having their birthdays this month and a little into December. And once you get to that 11th month, it takes 11 months for the sun to go around the zodiac. So by the time it gets to that time level of getting to your birthday, you're just zonkered out. You know, you've had it, because that's a long time, 11 months, for the sun to get back to you again and recharge your body and mind and spirit. So with Scorpio rising, the Sagittarius are getting that now. They're getting that sun charge. And we'll be talking about that in a minute. But for Scorpios, your ruler, Pluto, is right now in Capricorn. We talked about that. And it will end the Capricorn reign in 2024. And then it will go into Aquarius. So eventually, remember I told you that all planets will eventually go into Aquarius. All right, finances is the name of the game for Scorpios. Your sun is in Sag in the 2nd. You might want to work with friends. You might want to get a buddy and work with. You will be this month focusing on how do you want to make money. So that will be all of December. Your Mercury, the focus on what your mind is focusing on is, again, the 2nd house, finances. You're thinking about money. You're thinking about how do you want to make money? How do you want to do money? How is money going to come to you? How do you get money? That's all going to be on your mind all December. The love planet that Scorpio has is in the 2nd house too, money. So you might join forces with a friend, or you might fall in love with someone who has money. Wouldn't that be nice? So that could happen too. It's in Sag, so it could be a friend that you think has money, and you saddle up to him or her for the money. Who knows? You know, when you're desperate, who knows? I don't know. The new moon is in that solar eclipse, and that can last up from 6 months to a year. So it's in Sag, and for the Scorpio, it's in the 2nd house. Again, money. So looking at the Scorpio for December, it's really all about money. You know, it's about how do I make money? How do I spend the money? And it's in Sag of friends. So maybe you're being very generous for the holidays and buying your friends a lot of gifts. That could be too. November 30th, we had a full moon a couple days ago, and that was a full moon lunar eclipse, and that lasts from 6 months to a year also. And remember, I told you that that's the taking away of something to give you something new that's better. So for the Scorpio, it's in the 8th house. 8th house could be a partnership that you have with someone, a joint venture that maybe you don't want anymore. Maybe you get rid of it and you want to go solo with a business partner or a love partner. Or maybe you, go into light working. Or maybe you start a spiritual endeavor and make money. So that could be too. But whatever it is, it looks like to me, the Scorpio looks all 8. So it's all about finances and the 2nd house, which is money, how you get money, or who owes you money. Maybe you come into inheritance. I just thought of that. That could very well be. Maybe you come into an inheritance or someone leaves you a business. That could very well fit for the Scorpio, and I hope it is. Good luck to you. Now, Sag and Sag rising, the axis point is the Gemini. That's the opposition. So a lot of this might go to the Gemini. Your ruler, Sag, is Jupiter. Your Jupiter is moving. You move once a year to the next house. So your Jupiter is coming out of Capricorn, which should have been very good for your business. I just talked to a Sag, and through the COVID, she has a restaurant, and she did colossally. Even through the close down, people were waiting, socially distancing, but they were waiting in line for their food. This restaurant is so good in North Carolina. So she did hands over buckets with money. She did very good. So that could be very well, what happens with the Sag. The Mercury is in Sag in your first house, Sagittarius, and that's for your body and your mind and your persona and who you are. So you might be making your best friend with yourself. You might be doing a lot by yourself, and you're learning that you are your best friend. A lot of people are learning that through through the COVID days. They really are. So you're learning that you are your best friend. The new birth sign, the sun is in Sag. I bet you couldn't guess that. And it's also in the first house. So all you Sagittarius that haven't had your birthday yet, you will, but I bet you're feeling tired now. So it's in the first house of persona and body. The Jupiter and Saturn conjunction, the great conjunction that will hit on December 21, is going to hit in your third house of communications. It can be your environment. It can be siblings, your sisters and brothers. Maybe you see them for the holidays. It's in Sag, so it's friendly. I'm sorry, it's in Aquarius. So that's still friendly. That's just as friendly as Sag is. So it could be gatherings with your siblings for the holidays. It could be more marketing, more advertising. I know that girl I told you about is opening a new restaurant. That's how good she did. And her Jupiter ruling for Sagittarius is going into Aquarius now. Remember I told you that Aquarius will have Jupiter, the good luck planet, for 1 year. So play the Powerball, Aquarians. And I hope you Capricorns played it and won something. The love planet Venus for the Sagittarius it's going to be in the first house of the body, mind, and spirit. So that's your persona. That's who you are. That could be that you make some new friends, or you fall in love with somebody that you hardly know. It might be that you go to the doctor and you fall in love with a doctor or nurse, or somebody in the parking lot. I won't say waiting room, but someone in the parking lot. Who knows? Mars in Aries is in your fifth house. That's love, creation. It can be children. And it can be very, very good. So Mars is still in Aries. It will change signs at the end of the year and go into Taurus. And it will go in your sixth house of everyday affairs and your work. Okay? And then the lunar eclipse on November 30th will be in Gemini. Remember, all those lunar eclipses are in Sagittarius and Gemini for the next 2 years. They are changing everyone's life. They are life changers. So that new lunar eclipse will take place in the 7th house of partnerships. If you have a partner, you will get on better with the partner. If you don't have a partner, you could get a proposal. Remember that the lunar eclipse is 1 month to a year. So you could very well this year get a get a partnership going, or you could make friends with somebody and get a proposal eventually this year. If you don't like your partner or things aren't going very well, you might get a divorce. You never know how the eclipse is going to happen. It's either going to take away to give. So you might get a divorce and meet somebody and want to get a romance going with them. Who knows? It can take away something and then give you something better than you thought. So, you know, again, you could lose your job, but it's in the 7th house. You might have a business partner that you get rid of and you find out that you can do much better on your own. So that could be a possibility. That now the new, the solar eclipse on the new moon always is something new. So remember to do my little thing that I always tell you every month, to put your wants and desires in a box, and it will happen. You write down your wants and desires, and you put it in a little box in a drawer, put it away, and then you will see that within a month how it will derive in your life. So that's it for all the signs. We did it. We did it. Now we can take some readings if you want to. I'm not too adept with this, so I'm just going to see if anybody wants a reading. Katie, you want a reading? Okay, let's do Rita if she's still here. Let me get my cards. Let's do Rita, because she earlier said she wanted a reading. So, Rita, I know what your question's about, so let's do 3, since 3 is a trinity. Let's see what comes up. Okay, let's look at this, Rita. We're going to hear from a soldier, but I don't think that's the love that's coming in your life. But you are going to hear from a soldier. And he may make some overtones in a romantic way. It's up to you, you know. Call me first before you make the plunge. The man that you're going to be very interested in has blue eyes. He's average height. I think he has brown hair, but gray is starting to come in. And he looks like he could be at a distance, but it looks like he would move. So you don't have to move anywhere for this coming in. It does look like you may be planning a wedding in, I'd say, May, June. Okay? So you're going to know pretty soon who this is. And Leo looked pretty good, so good luck to you. Okay, let's see who else has some questions. Hi, Doreen. Hi, Martha. Any questions, Martha? Love you. Hi, Kathy. Olga. Hi, Dana. Hi, Kay. Any questions here? Miyoshi, hello. I just sent you a healing the other night, Miyoshi. I hope everything is better. Hi, Laurentia. I haven't talked to you in a long time. God bless. Okay, Katie Fritz. Let's see. Hey, Mark. Hey, Deirdre. Hello. Do you have a question, Deirdre? Let me know. Hi, Deb. Okay, I'm just seeing if anyone has any questions. Hi, Donna. Much love to you. Deirdre, much love. Hi, Cyndi. Any questions? Hi, Doreen. Hi, Susan. Just looking for questions here. Hi, Claudia, Mark, Lynn. Wow, we have quite a crowd here. Hi, Giannina. Hi, good to see you. Laura. Do you have a question, Laura? Lakota, hello. Aho, Lakota. Kendra, much love to you. Deb, much love to you. You came in at the right time. We're talking about Virgos. Hello, Dana. Any questions, anybody? Chrissy, good to see you. James. Okay, Katie, I see a question here finally. I've been feeling stuck with finding a new home, a little worried. It may not come to fruition. Is there anything I can do to help them move along? Okay. Well, let's do some cards on that. We're going to do a 3, okay? All right. Katie, it looks to me like you're moving in a 3, and that could be 3. I'd say we know it's not 3 days. It could be within 3 weeks. You know something about where you're moving. I do see you signing a contract. I'd say between the 21st, the Great Conjunction, and the 3rd week in January, you'll know about a new place, and you might even be moved in by that time, okay? So don't give up, okay? Just keep on trotting along there. All right, let's see who else has a press. Olga. Hi, Cyndi. My lower back is still bothering me. Can you see what's happening? Okay. I hope you're still there, Olga. Okay, I'm doing 3 cards. All right. It looks like, and again, I'm not a doctor. I can only tell you what I see, but it looks like there's a disc that is either being conformed by maybe another disc or maybe a nerve, and it would require, you know, maybe an MRI, or I don't know if you've had an MRI already, but it would require that, or a I'm sure you've done x-rays already. So it looks to me like some disc is being maneuvered or touched on by maybe either a nerve or another disc. Like the disc looks to me like it's not looking like it should look. Maybe there's a little bit of reformation happening with the disc, but it doesn't look like what a healthy disc should look like. So hopefully you and a doctor can find out, okay? I'll put you on my healing list. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's a general question for Deborah. All right, Deb. Hope you're still there. All right, Deborah. Everything bangs loose in two weeks. Everything bangs loose. So I think that this conjunction, this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on December 21st is really going to be favorable for you. It looked like that in the dealings with astrology. Everything bangs loose in 2 weeks. I see you going into a whole new direction. It's like tra-la-la in January. So in after that 21st, I think that was in partnerships too. So partnerships could be a contract with a home. It could be contract with a business person, you know. So I think that in 2 weeks, after the 21st, that's where it all bangs open. And that was in your 7th house of partnership. It shows freedom, independence, and January is beautiful. So maybe it all took just that conjunction to really turn the tide for you. I'm so happy. God bless. Okay, let me see who else is in need of a question. Okay, Lynn. Let's see, 3 years since my husband passed. Is there love again? Wow, has it really been that long, Lynn? My God. Time flies when you're not having fun, right? Okay. I'm doing 3 for you, Lynn. There's a man that has a 1-syllable name, and you will name him a 2-syllable name, and it could come from your friendship circle. You want to look for that. It's or a group that you belong to, or someone is in a group, someone's in a gathering. So you want to look in that, and there's a man there, and I would say by March you should know who it is. But he is average height, maybe a little receding hair. He has a lovely smile and a lovely disposition, and he is so sweet. So don't give up, okay, on that. There might be a couple more months until that happens, but it does look like it will happen, okay? God bless. Okay, let's see here. Who else? Okay, Kendra. What about the new friend I asked about? Okay, let's see. I'm going to do 3. Hope you're still there. You're a Leo. You're a Leo, Kendra. So all that great Leo stuff I was talking about, you're going to get all that. Leo's and Aquarius have the best for December. Sometimes I see glasses with the new friend, the friend. Does he wear reading glasses? Because that comes up. It's a guy that is very professional in nature, and you may relocate, or he may relocate to you when it gets a little bit more favored in the relationship. But there looks like there might be a distance between you, and so you may relocate. Okay? Hope that answered something there. Okay, let's see. Deirdre, will I get the job I just finished? 3rd and final interview for. Okay, wow. Well, I think if you did that much, you should be getting it. But let's see what the cards say. I'm doing 3, okay? Okay. Okay, let's see what we have here. All right. Yeah, it does look like you get it. And there looks like a dark-skinned lady that may be your boss. And I think you'll like the job. It looks like a female for your boss. So I think that you will get it. And, if you get that 3rd interview, I always like to sprinkle pink light around the interviewing place. And if you're doing it by the phone, or if you're doing it by Skype or Zoom, imagine that pink light going into that area with whom you're interviewing with, and that will guarantee you a great interview. Pink is the color of love on the other side, so try that. And it looks favorable, okay? Looks favorable. I can't remember what your birthday is, but it looks very, very favorable. All right. Okay, Anne, sending love and light to you for all the positive energy and insights, and for your healing at this difficult time. Yes, we have to remember all our brothers and sisters who are ill. And Doreen, thanks for doing this. I'm an Aquarius, and I'm looking forward to good things. Yeah, you got into that powerhouse, didn't you? Okay, Janet is watching. Hello, Janet. Much love to you, Janet. Okay, Lynn, I'm glad you're happy. And Martha, I give you a lot of love as always. And Anne, will the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction surprise us with the presidency? I would say yes, it will. It will. Because Jupiter is law and Saturn is redefining. So I think we're all going to get a big, big surprise. All right. Okay, Kendra, I'm glad, and much love to you. Much love to you, Janet. Much love to you, let's see, Deirdre. Okay, you're a Sag. Okay, well, you're getting these eclipses, Deirdre. So that should do it for tonight. That's all the questions I see. But I sure enjoyed this time with you, and I didn't expect that it was... Okay, Janet. Janet, yeah, we have a lot of good news. Okay, Janet, you want a question? Janet, in the 4th month of next year, you probably will meet somebody very special in your life. So I would not give up the ship. Please drop the past. The past has nothing to do with now. And get yourself glowing and pretty, and buy some new clothes, because you're a very special guy is coming your way. Okay, and I know you're a sweet Pisces, like Katie is. Love to you, Katie. I was just talking about you. You caught me. And let's see, Laurencia had a question back here. I don't want to miss it. I don't know what your question was, Laurencia, but I saw it. Now it, oh, there it is. Do I have a divorce coming up? Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you'll know by the 4th month of April. And it looks to me like you might be going eventually back to a past love. I think you will get a divorce, and it's for the best, because it looks to me like eventually it won't be right away, but you could end up with a past love. So if you can think of anybody that might fit that bill, it might be them. But if you've been unhappy, it looks like that will go through by the April of next year. You'll probably already have filed, okay? So I'm sorry to give you bad news, but I know that good things always come from anything, you know? When one door closes, a new door opens. Okay, well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for taking your evening to be with me. And I wish you the very best for your holiday season. I'm giving out gift certificates if you want to buy a reading for a person. If you need a reading for yourself, please call me or write me 301-831-8947. Or go to www.cyndiwallace.com or text me, and I'll be glad to do it. I'm sending you love too. And you all be safe during the holidays. And I will see you back in the beginning of January, where we'll do a whole look at the new year and also for the month of January. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up. Peace be with you. Aloha, aho, ashe. God bless.